Good morning, Ridge Records Fantasy Football League. Welcome to the Week 10 recap video. As you can see, we're not on location anymore. Disclaimer, future boss, future employee, future coworker, anybody else out there, this is a comedy show, so if you don't like it, this ain't for you. I cannot be held responsible for anything I say or show or really do. I am without adult supervision. So that being said, let's get right into it. All right. Week 10 results had the media defeating championships for Miles, 117 to 97 points. Social Justice Warrior fell to Gender Unicorn in the game of the week, 92 to 109 points. Bayside Tigers beat up on Raider Nation, 108 to 63.58 points, and that represents the league's lowest score for the week. Congratulations to team owner of Raider Nation, who apparently fell asleep this week. Nut and Buttsacks beat up on Booty Lickers, 141.72 to 87 points. That represents the league's high score for the week. Congratulations to the team owner of Nut and Buttsacks. Missing My Young Ho fell to Jax Jags, 112 to 128 points, and the Roster Baiters lost to Team Suckaditka, 93 to 110 points. We had some big changes this week with the standings because of those outcomes. Bayside Tigers defeating Raider Nation and Roster Baiters falling to Suckaditka. And as I mentioned, Game of the Week had Social Justice Warrior losing to Gender Unicorn. That puts Gender Unicorn on a streak and has major implications for our commissioner, as we'll see when we discuss Week 11 matchups. That being said, let's get into the standings. All right, all those results bring our standings to Team Suckaditka still standing strong in first place with a couple game lead. Nut and Buttsacks in second, Bayside Tigers in third, Jax Jags still in fourth, Roster Baiters in fifth, the media rounding out the top six. Raider Nation's fallen into seventh place, Missing My Young Ho in eighth, Booty Lickers in ninth, Gender Unicorn climbing to 10th place with championships for Miles taking the number 11 spot, and Social Justice Warrior bringing in the caboose in 12th. This matters, and we'll talk about that next. All right, this brings us to the games for Week 11. Game of the week, Roster Baiters versus the media. Big implications as you have 5 versus 6. Everybody that's in that 3 to 8 spot on the standings has the potential to end up in the playoffs. So those are very tight groups right now. Raider Nation plays Gender Unicorn in what should be an easy matchup for Raider Nation. Bayside Tigers goes up against the Booty Lickers. That'll be interesting, and I expect to see some major trash talking for that game. Big game between Social Justice Warrior and Championships for Miles. Because if Championships for Miles loses, they will fall to 12th place, allowing Social Justice Warrior to climb to 11th. That's huge because the guy's team name is Championships for Miles and he's about to be in last place. False advertising if I've ever seen it. Jax Jags goes up against Suckaditka. That should be a good matchup. And Nut and Buttsacks plays Missing My Young Ho. Yeah, we'll see how that one turns out. But as I mentioned, game of the week, Roster Baiters versus the media. Huge game between Social Justice Warrior and Championships for Miles. And I think you know who I'm rooting for in that one. Let's hear who you've got going into that game. Now that I'm back home, we can do some serious production. Let's get right into the comments. First being the team owner of Bayside Tigers, who had some disturbing footage. Now let me warn you, not for the faint of heart, not for children. Keep your eyes open at your own risk. I have nothing to share this week except for this photo. Proof that even though he is one of the worst commissioners of all time, at least our commissioner doesn't skip leg day. With that being said, arm day? Chest, cardio? Absolutely no proof exists that he participates in those workouts. I know these are rumors that if the law offices of Booty and Liquor have been disbarred from practicing law in North Carolina, maybe they'll rebrand as a personal trainer with the commissioner as their first client. These results are not guaranteed. No comment on football, however, from the team owner of Bayside Tigers. There have been some discussions this week about possible tampering with the waiver wire and the commissioner having access to other people's bids. As you see, the commissioner happened to bid the same exact amount as the team owner of Bayside Tigers, but because the commissioner had a higher waiver priority, he got the player. Suspicious at best, and the law offices of Booty and Liquor are looking into this. Now, the commissioner did have this as a public statement concerning this scandal. As usual, the media, fake attorneys, and a willing, likely paid-off nobody collude to cook up a nothing burger story. Much like all their fellow Biden voting cohorts, their claims are as baseless as a whole Russia hoax. I don't fully blame spreadsheets. I think his involvement in this hoax stems from being the new guy just trying to fit in. He was easily influenced by the deep state, the useful idiot type. We know. In addition, he was brainwashed and radicalized by the media to hate his friends and neighbors. Sad. I was merely trying to make my team and thus the league great again, and just like Rittenhouse, they're attempting to drag me into their kangaroo court. I will not comply. Similar to America, the prospects for this year are bleak. Like a phoenix bird, we will rise from the ashes. When we have a strong championships for miles, we have a strong and safe, more prosperous league and world. Pound, the dynasty will rise again. Maybe that's what your team name should be. Not championships for miles, but maybe eventually going to be good again? Just saying. Team owner of Gender Unicorn had this to say about his victory in the game of the week. They say charity starts at home, not in the Blake house. You often have to remind your children of who the parent is, and that was apparent this week. No amount of training will stop your dad or first mom from giving you a beating. That being said, I've turned up my unicorn powers to high, and I have my cancel culture focused on Raider Nation. When I'm done with them, they'll have a new woke name and denounce their privileged spot in the league standings. This will also allow me to look into Booty Licker's big brown eye, push the Corn AK speed bump out of the way, and climb deep into his spot in the league standings. If that's even possible. Still not sure how all that works. I just know he's next on the board and in my way of completing my gender reassignment. Bold, strong words from the 10th positioned Gender Unicorn. Here's to hoping. I asked the distinguished and reputable law offices of Booty and Liquor to provide a statement for the state of the league as they saw it this week. This was how they see the league. So we've reached the point in the year already where we must pause and take a step back to evaluate the state of the league. Historically, the events and standings within our league tend to be fairly representative of society at large in any given year. This season has been no exception. Which group of individuals is currently enjoying the most success in this country? Without a doubt, it is the newly minted billionaires in the pharmaceutical industry made rich by forcefully injecting safe and effective vaccines that are giving people myocarditis while not preventing them from catching COVID. Is it any surprise that fraudulent pharma Team Suckaditka is in first place in our league as well? Of course not. In Virginia, local elections and school boards across the country, the concerned citizen forcefully rejected the corrupt CRT peddling politicians of yesterday in favor of a new breed of politician. It should also come as no surprise that traditionally corrupt officials in this league, the unethical commissioner and crooked vice commissioner, have been relegated to the losers bracket, booted from the top in an effort to see if new blood Bayside Tigers align better with their values and represent the league members more faithfully. Rounding out our evaluations of the current state of affairs, we arrive at the lamest tier of society. It also comes as no surprise. The bottom of this barrel is occupied by the likes of gender unicorns, second daughters, and unethical commissioners. We have a long way to go to turn this league around, but as long as noble organizations like the law offices and the media continue to resist tyranny and fight for the people, I am confident we will get there. I can't close it out any better than that. Well said, Esquire. Well said. Remember, guys, week 11's here. Talk some trash. Get those trades in. Get the waiver wires pick up. And fantasy football is the only thing that matters. Have a great week.